I just want to be free to tell people the truth. You want to stop me, don't you?
I kind of no, Rudy, because you're so entertaining. But Rudy Giuliani, believe it or not, had a radio show until recently, but it just got canceled because he can't stop himself from spreading lies about the 2020 presidential election. Rudy, it's 2024, there's a new election. Maybe focus on that a little bit, but he can't. And so because he refused to stop claiming that the 2020 election was stolen, his radio show got canceled. Homeboy got disbarred. I mean, he's not even a practicing lawyer anymore as a result of him spreading election lies. So we'll get to more details lately, but first, let's watch more of Giuliani engaging in the meltdown that you got a little taste of at the beginning of the story.
The Bidens are really zeroing in now on interference with the 2024 election. I'm the one who revealed the hard drive. I spoke to the Post today, and the nice young lady, I said to her, "You didn't find the hard drive. I did, and I gave it to you. And I pretty much had to force you to do it, except for Miranda Devine and Levine and a few other people who had the guts to, I mean, you were, and the Wall Street Journal. The Bidens don't realize who's doing the real, who can really inflict atomic destruction to them. They were going along just fine until Giuliani found the people in Ukraine.
Riveting stuff. Good, great content. The show was called Rudy Giuliani on 77 WABC, and ironically, ABC or WABC is owned by a billionaire Republican by the name of John Catsimatidis. He told the New York Times last week, "We're not going to talk about the fallacies of the November 2020 election. We warned Giuliani once, we warned him twice." And I get a text from him last night, and I get a text from him this morning that he refuses not to talk about it. Oh my God, okay, so he says, "Look, I like the guy as a person, but you can't do that, you can't cross the line." And just days after the Capitol riots on January 6th, WABC told hosts that on-air talent should not state, suggest, or imply that the election results are not valid or that the election is not over. So you're probably wondering why Giuliani is just now facing consequences for denying the 2020 election when he's been engaged in this shtick for some time now. In a warning letter to Giuliani, that billionaire that we talked about earlier who owns WABC cited new accusations against Giuliani last week from two Georgia poll workers who won a defamation suit against him last year because I guess he wants to be sued for defamation again. Giuliani said poll workers, Giuliani owes, I should say, the poll workers a lot of money, $146 million in damages, which is partly why he is pretty broke at the moment. But it's not entirely clear how much revenue his WABC show was bringing in. The Times reported last year that Giuliani, oh my God, there is no justice in the world, guys. He earned roughly $400,000 a year from WABC. More recent court filings suggested he was losing money on the Endeavor. How was he losing money on the Endeavor? How do you lose money on the Endeavor? How do you do it? Are you spending more than $400,000 a year on transportation to get to work? How do you lose money? How? I want to know, Waz, this is insane.
He's got a great accountant, apparently. I might need to get in touch with that guy for next March. That's for sure. I mean, and folks need to understand, man, the like fall from grace for Giuliani. Obviously used to be the mayor of my hometown, New York City. Like, this guy's reputation was, one, he killed the mob in New York with all those RICO charges in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Two, he quote unquote cleaned up New York City. That's like that, that was a thing. Giuliani, say what you want, he cleaned up New York City. Where the murder rate and all of that stuff fell out. There's like studies out there that show that like it probably wasn't Giuliani. It's just like generally across the country, murder rates just dropped severely in the 90s. But whatever, that was his reputation. Then of course 9/11 happens and he's America's mayor, and it's like Giuliani has like this sterling reputation. And ever since then, ever since his failed presidential bid, he's basically made himself into a crank. And now he's just like, an old grandpa. Oh God, with the freaking hair dye. He's just an old grandpa howling at the moon. It's so crazy to see this precipitous fall.
Let's bring that B-roll back up. Let's take a look at it. I know that this is a little bit of a tangent, but listen, you already have the massive bald spot on the top of your head. So what good was it to try to dye your sideburns? Like, what good was it? I mean, no hate toward people who, men lose their hair. That's part of life. It's totally fine. But like, you know what made that look worse? The hair dye dripping on the side of your sideburns. Like that made it look a lot worse. Anyway, I can't believe he was making $400,000 a year on a radio show that I didn't even know existed. I don't make $400,000 a year. Not even close. Not even close.
You guys need to get in touch with that WABC owner, man.
Hey, Mr. Catsimatidis, please hit me up.
Yeah.
Hit me up. All right, I'll do a show for 400. I'm not gonna say things you want me to say, but hit me up. I promise I will not talk about the 2020 election being stolen. I swear. Give me the job.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.